Just simply trying to get to the studio was already a huge adventure. Like there's snow everywhere. Trying to scratch everything from the car took at least half an hour. My fingers are freezing. But I also have to say, ooh, new delivery. Definitely new gear. There's also more gear here, but I'm not going to share today what's inside. Maybe something for tomorrow. Because today, the entire day is spent 100% here in the A studio. Just sitting here, making music as much as I possibly can. Because as I already explained, the snow might make it really hard to get here in the coming days if it increases. And also the water level is rising. So there are some parts on the way to the studio here in this harbor area where I might not be able to pass. So trying to spend as much time in here, making as much music as possible. All done with work. It's not anymore trying to mix Watch Me Burn. That's like ended. I got it. I'm working now on new songs. I actually worked today on a follow-up to Secrets, just instrumental. That's what you heard in the intro. I will send it out later to Salvo. She will write some lyrics. I will get back to her back and forth until we have something that actually works. And I also continued working on a very new vocal pop EDM kind of song. I'll play it to you in the outro. I absolutely love the drop. It's a little different. But since I spent really the entire day just making music and it's already dark outside and Vanessa's waiting, and you know you don't want your lady to be waiting again and again. So we'll just do a very quick Q&A all about music production. Are you gonna buy any modular synthesizers? Probably not. No vocal booth for Studio A. No, we have a vocal booth downstairs in the B studio. Whenever I need to record vocals, I just go there. I don't need a second one up here. This room right here is mostly for music production, mixing and mastering. The B studio is for singing, songwriting, and producing, but definitely not mastering or mixing. Anything about music promotion? Yes, it's something you should look at long term. Don't just promote that one song, promote you as an artist, build up a fan base. Definitely the smarter move, so you have in the future to spend less and can just release music and your fan base will help to push you. Who got you into making music? Myself, kind of. I always loved technical things. I was always into computers, and then one day I went to a friend's place. His brother had in the basement turntables, Technics 1210 MK2 with that red light and everything spinning and the sound, and you know, it just fascinated me. That's how I got into DJing, and then eventually the urge to also not just play other people's music, make my own, got me basically into it. In such a saturated producer market, what makes you believe anyone, including you, can succeed? I think, yes, everyone can succeed if they're just working hard enough. There is like a threshold. If your music is worse than that and your marketing, the entire package as you as an artist, you will not make it for a living. If you're above it, you can make it. But then there's another threshold for like the top 1%. Getting there is a huge, like a lot of factors, and some you just can't control. It's a little bit of luck as well, being at the right time, right place, knowing the right people. But yeah, making everyone can get to that kind of threshold. It's just about like putting enough effort towards it. There's definitely not enough room for everyone making music, making it full-time. That's impossible. There will be always, the biggest bunch will be people that just do it as a hobby or just fail within the first or 2 years. That's just how it goes. How much music do you enjoy that is not EDM? I listen to a whole lot of pop stuff, actually, like on the way to the studio back and forth. And no, it's mostly EDM. I have to admit, I'm an EDM lover. I'd say 95% of the music I listen to is EDM or heavily EDM influenced pop music. Go-to mix bus compressor for techno and psytrance. I got here an SSL kind of clone, and I'm looking forward to also buy another one by West Audio maybe. And yeah, just an SSL and like parallel compression, heavily compress it, maybe sidechain below 200, 300 hertz to not make it start pumping. and then mixing in 30 to 70% of the dry signal, whatever suits you best. It's just for that glue. I don't think it's necessary. You can also get away with that doing it, no problem. Price for mastering a tech house track. Mastering is usually between 50, 60 to 120, depending on who masters it and how much you're willing to spend. I'd say if it's below 40, it's probably someone that doesn't have a real clue, because it's impossible for that low of a price to work in a studio for an hour. But maybe you're lucky and it's like cheap, but then you could do it yourself probably. I'd say like 50, 60, 70, 80 is a good range. Above that, it really depends on how much money you actually make with the music. If you make like thousands of thousands with a song, then spending 120 on mastering might not be that much. How does one collab with you on YouTube? I don't really do this YouTube collab thing that much, but if anyone is interested in anything, just hit me up. I'm generally not against it, but due to COVID, it's really hard to travel somewhere, visit other people in their studios. I miss that a lot. How do you get the tonal balance right in the mix? I would love to recommend you Tonal Balance by Isotope, which is kind of good, but I think a lot of people are misusing it a little, or using it in the wrong way. It's just like as a hint, as a guidance. And I hear more and more tracks when I master them, they're actually right in that balance curve, right in the middle. So someone used the plugin and pushed everything to make it fit, but it just sounds awful. If you have a track that is an instrumental without any vocals, any kind of mid kind of information, boosting it just doesn't make it sound good. So it's really experience and listening and A&B testing and compare to other songs. Don't use tonal balance control entirely. It's just like, there might be something wrong, check it, and then think about it again. How do you get out of a stuck 8-bar loop? I just start arranging. Even if I don't like what I'm hearing, I start arranging, because like the ear gets very tired and bored by an 8-bar loop. If you listen to it too long, any kind of song on an 8-bar loop will just sound bad. What is the best plugin you have used and still use till this day? Serum, without a doubt, most versatile, gets you any kind of sound. If you don't have it, I'll link it down below. Do labels care about your old shitty music, and should you delete it? I don't think they care, because everyone just looks at Spotify and it ranks it by plays. So usually your better performing songs should be up there. And having songs that are 3-4 years old and sound shit, I don't think you should be ashamed of them. It actually proves how much you improved and how much you put effort towards it. And I think that counts, at least for me as a label boss, way more than only having perfect songs up there. And if you continue doing that, in 5 years, the songs you're releasing right now are also shit, then you have to delete them, and you're deleting your legacy, you're deleting your creative work. Don't do it, just leave it in there. Do you still use Logic and M1 through Rosetta? Yes, and it just works perfectly. What kind of drugs have you tried, if you have ever tried any? I think that's maybe something for another video. Do you have good music theory? Good music? No, not really. I mean, I hear immediately if something is wrong, and that's usually enough. I'm not musically trained. I like taught myself the basics, chords and what fits to what, and scales and whatnot. So I know everything. But if you put me on stage and ask me to play on a piano something to a crowd, no way. I wouldn't do it. It would sound so horrible. What about using a sub for production? Is it important to hear 20 to 40 hertz? Whew, if you can, if it's not too expensive, because you need a lot of room treatment, it's not about the speaker at that point, then being able to listen down to 30 correctly is really good, because most songs are cut anyways at around 30. Some even cut at 35 or 40 just to make their songs louder. But being able to hear what's happening down there is definitely an advantage, but I wouldn't focus that much on it. Would you create a master class? Yes, there's actually something in the planning phase. There will be something like it eventually in the coming months. You know, just me sitting here recording for 2-3 hours non-stop, making a song from scratch, mixing a song from scratch, mastering, maybe also a little bit about like room acoustics, the really nerdy, gritty stuff for the people that are interested. Yeah, but let me know what kind of topics I should cover in like a full extended 2, 3, 4 hours non-stop kind of video. Anyways, that's it. Heading back home, enjoying the rest of the evening. Tomorrow back again here in the studio. Unboxing probably a little more gear, and we'll see what else happens.
I wish I could love you better. Tell you would last forever if only